Good evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. I am Justina of Just Classical, and I'm so excited to have you here so that we can talk about 7 things that you need to know to get started homeschooling. So I'm going to share my screen. So 1 second while I get that ready. All right, awesome. So we are ready for this special online training, 7 things you need to know to get started homeschooling. So I'm Justina from Just Classical, and I'm really excited to be here for this training because I love talking about this topic. It is simply because I love helping homeschool moms get started on the right foot. And my hope is that this training will have an immediate impact on your life. So welcome. Please know this next hour is for you. And whenever you're watching online a training like this, I know it's easy to get distracted. So I want to encourage you to really give yourself the time to soak in this training and silence your cell phone maybe, and turn off your alerts, get everybody situated for a little while so that you have this time to spend and watch this and give yourself the gift of focus for the next hour. So if you haven't, well, I haven't told you about it yet, but if you want to get the notes, you can go to this website. And this is my Getting Started Homeschooling cheat sheet, basically, that's going to cover the points that we're going to talk about tonight. And so if you want to go to this website, then you'll have the notes in front of you, and it actually has some clickable links for some things that I'm going to talk about too, so you can grab it. And also, if you have questions during this training, then you can ask them in the live chat box on the page where you're watching this video. And I'll be hosting a Q&A session at the end of this training. And if you have any questions about the things that I said, so get the notes. I'm going to move off the screen. If you have questions, ask in the chat, and then let's get started. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Justina of Just Classical, and I founded Just Classical because I am a homeschooling mom of 3 and a classical educator. And I have taught music and art for years and years. And so I wanted to be able to share my skills with other homeschooling moms who maybe don't feel as confident in teaching music and art. And I also have memory songs and Christian encouragement. And I have a course called Thriving at Homeschool, which helps us to manage our time and our home and our homeschooling better. And so now that you know a little bit about me, let me ask you something. Does this sound like you? You're just getting started with homeschooling and you don't even know where to begin. Or maybe you're concerned about taking on the full-time job of being your children's teacher when you already have a full-time job as your family's CEO, in charge of cleaning, cooking, shopping, caring for children, and running around to activities. And does this sound like you? You already struggle with taking care of yourself as you spend so much time taking care of your family and other responsibilities. Well, if any or all of these sound familiar, you are in exactly the right place, and today's training is going to help you identify 7 things you need to know to get started homeschooling. Now, I'll just give you a quick preview so you know. Of course, I'm going to identify the 7 things you need to know to get started homeschooling. I'm also going to talk about what you need to think about when it comes to managing your homeschool, your home, and your time. And I'm also going to talk about how to thrive in your homeschooling and your home by establishing a root system in 3 key areas: mindset management, home management, and time management. And I'm also going to talk to you about my course, Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course, and why it might just be the thing that you need right now. I'm having a flash sale on it, so just letting you know about it. Okay, so since you took the time to attend this webinar, this masterclass, I would conjecture that you want to enjoy your homeschool years. Yes, you are here to learn the nitty-gritty of where to get started, but you want to plan so that you can thrive and not just survive the next year or 20, right? So let me start here with this quote and my story. This is actually something my brother said. He said, "I don't want to just get through anything. I want to enjoy my life. So I would ask, is it possible to enjoy the journey of homeschooling, or is it something we need to just get through? Well, I've been there with just getting through. So this is a photo of me a few years ago when I was just getting through and completely worn out because I hadn't really started my homeschooling journey on the right foot. You see, I always wanted to be a mom, and I am one of 11 children, and I have 6 younger siblings. So I usually had a baby or a toddler around to play with until I was a teenager. So those are 3 of my younger sisters and my neighbor friend that I am treating like dolls, right? I loved playing dolls with my friend and my younger sisters. And I loved dressing up my younger siblings. And I even would pretend to do school with them, right? I was not homeschooled. I went to public school. And I especially enjoyed pretending to be Mary Poppins. And with the idea that being a mom was like being Mary Poppins and going on exciting outings with children every day, what could be better than being a mom with my children all day? Well, that's what I was thinking, right? But obviously, there were a number of things I didn't understand about mothering and homeschooling. While my mom was not Mary Poppins, she was a stay-at-home mom who appeared to have time to herself to do things she wanted when my siblings and I were at school or the little ones were taking naps. But my mom did not homeschool. So I didn't consider the reality that homeschooling is a full-time job on top of mothering and being the CEO of the home. I didn't think through all the aspects of what I needed to know to get started homeschooling. So when I got married and started having children, the first few years were filled with fun classes and field trips. I taught music classes, and I took my children to the nature center for toddler times or apple picking, like in this picture, for example. But when it came time to homeschool, my days lacked structure, and suddenly I realized that too many field trips or outings as Mary Poppins got in the way of a structured and consistent learning setting. I had not established a system of routines or a schedule, and I tended to wing it. Now, I do believe that there is a lot of learning that goes on as we just live life. So I'm not ultra scheduled, but I was a little too wing it back then. So my second year of homeschooling, we joined Classical Conversations, and I jumped right in as a tutor and eventually as a director. And being in Classical Conversations kept me on track with a schedule and accountability, but I also was getting worn out from all the responsibility. Each year I would get to the point of survival mode and just getting through. So a few years ago, after being in CC for 8 years and tutoring or directing for all of those, I was in major homeschool burnout. My husband looked at me and said, "You need a break." So we took a year off of CC and did all our homeschooling at home. And I began to look at the things I should have thought of and thought through when I was getting started with homeschooling, like using a planner and putting better systems in place. So by taking some time off and learning how to have better routines and schedules, I was able to regain my energy and motivation. So now I am able to better balance my homeschool and home life and enjoy life. I don't feel like I am just getting through the school year and in survival mode all the time, but I can enjoy the days and seasons of homeschooling. Now, this story is not about me, but I did want to share a little of my background, and your story might look and sound a little different than mine, especially if you are just starting out. And being able to enjoy the journey of homeschooling and thrive at home is exactly what I want for you too. So that's, of course, what this training is about. So what are those 7 things you need to know to get started homeschooling? What are the things you should be considering? So let's jump into that. Well, number 1, you really need to know what your why is. That means that you need to make sure you know your reasons for homeschooling so that when the going gets tough, and it will get tough, you remember why you made this choice. Knowing your why includes thinking through what subjects you want to include and why. You can find this in books like What Your Third Grader Needs to Know Or once you get to choosing your curriculum, some all-in-one curriculum includes all the subjects you need. So know your why you're homeschooling and why you're going to include certain subjects. All right, number 2, you need to know your state requirements. So check out Homeschool Legal Defense Association, or HSLDA, it's probably hslda.com, or your own state's homeschool website to understand what you need to do according to your state laws, like how many days and hours a day your child should be receiving instruction, grading and testing requirements, and subjects you should teach in each grade. You will have to adhere to your state requirements. So number 2, know your state requirements. Number 3, know your goals. Consider what your child should be learning this year according to his or her age and grade. Make goals in the areas of spiritual and character development, social and emotional growth, physical skills, and academics. It's really helpful to have goals so you know what direction you're going. So number 3 is know your goals. Number 4 is know your family's needs. Now, each family has its own culture and needs, likes and dislikes, time commitments, and plans. Your family does not have to look like other homeschool families, and your family does not have to imitate public school education. But you do need to know your own needs. When you know your needs, it is easier to choose a method and curriculum that best fit your family. Ask questions about which parent will be doing the teaching of the various subjects, because it doesn't just have to be one parent. Often it works out that way at first, where the mom takes the bulk of it because she's staying at home maybe with the kids. But these days, a lot of dads work from home and they can help with some of the subjects, or you can work out different schedules. So which parent will do the teaching of the various subjects, and when will learning occur? Now, like if both of you are working at certain points, then who says school has to be from 8 to 3, right? You can do it in the late afternoon or evening, or maybe you're all really morning people and you want to get it done before noon. So you can have any kind of schedule you want, but you just need to know when you're going to fit in the homeschooling. You want to ask the question, what location will you do your learning? Some people have set up a special room that they call a homeschool room. Perhaps, well, I'll give you some examples of mine. Sometimes we used to do homeschooling just around the kitchen table. Later, I had a space in our basement with a table where we could sit and do work together. But at this point, each of my kids has a desk in their own room where they can work independently and quietly when they need to. So there can be a lot of different ways that you can figure out what location you will do your learning. So you need to ask the parent about, you need to ask the question about which parent will do the teaching of the various subjects, when the learning will occur, what location you will do your learning, and who will be in the home at the times of learning is another question. Because perhaps you're taking care of an elderly parent, or you have a special needs child, or you do extra babysitting with other kids. So who is going to be in your home at the times of learning? And then you need to ask what family situations may inhibit or help with homeschooling, and what potential distractions may occur. So there's lots of questions to ask, but know your family's needs. And then you need to take time to get to know your children and consider each child's interests, strengths, weaknesses, fine and gross motor skills, spiritual character, emotional and educational needs. So homeschooling is an opportunity to build a relationship with your child. So know your family's needs and know each of your individual children's needs. So number 5, know your method. Now, there are a variety of homeschool philosophies and curriculum. There's things like classical, Charlotte Mason, unschooling, traditional, lots of different philosophies and curriculum. So it's probably a good idea for you to take a quiz to find out what is the best fit for your family. And then also you'll want to read curriculum reviews and choose curriculum for the subjects that you want to teach. So if you picked up my homeschool cheat sheet that has all of these on there, which I shared the link for you at the beginning, then I actually on that PDF have a link that you can click to take a quiz. And another link I think I shared on there is Kathy Duffy Homeschool Curriculum Review. So you can read reviews of lots of different kinds of curriculum to find what fits your family and your children. So know your method, and then know your plan. Now, with all the things we need to do with our children in homeschooling and all the things we want to do with our lives, having a plan will keep us from running around in circles and feeling like we're getting nowhere. Having a plan is a key to sanity as a homeschool mom. Now, if you have a good plan, you will not feel overwhelmed and your homeschool and family life will run more smoothly. Trust me. Now, I'm also not just talking about a plan like there are 160 lessons in the math book and we have to do school 172 days. So we'll just make sure we do a lesson almost every day. Yes, that is what my original plans looked like. But think it through a little more deeply. Instead, you want to look at the priorities for your children's education. What are your priorities in your family and for your child's education? What is most important for them to learn while they're at home, such as long-term learning, and what's most important to you for them to learn this year? That would be grade level learning, short-term learning. So look at your priorities. And then you may also want to make goals. I actually already mentioned this, have some goals. And you want to help your children define goals for the year. Then once you know your priorities and your goals, you can make that plan. So that's when you'll look at the lessons in a curriculum and how many days of schools you'll want to meet. And from here, you can sketch out a plan, but do it in pencil, of how many lessons you need to do a month and a week. And then you can make daily schedules and lists of what needs to get done each day of the week. So you need to make a plan for your school year. And then you can break this into monthly, weekly, and daily plans. And you pretty much, you need to choose a starting and ending date for your school year. And you need to take into consideration those state requirements that I said you need to know about, so that you know the number of days your child must receive instruction and the breaks you will take. So if you sketch out your whole year plan, then it doesn't mean you have to stick to it exactly. It means that you have a plan and you can be flexible and change it if you need to. So for yourself, you will need to think through your priorities and your goals, and then you will need to have a plan monthly, weekly, and daily so that you can work on those goals. And then you need to actually schedule those times in a planner. Without a plan, we don't feel productive, nor are we accomplishing what we should. And this drains us as we try to pick up the pieces, and then we go into survival mode. Now, the other part of having a plan is having routines or systems in place. When we have routines or systems in place, we don't waste our mental and physical energy on the little tasks and the details of daily living, and so we have energy left for bigger, more important tasks. This means putting routines in place for yourself and your children, like morning routines, evening routines, mealtime routines, and meal planning and cleaning routines. So know your plan. I covered a lot there. And the number 7, know your limits. So determine your schedule and activities carefully. Be realistic that you and your children can't do everything, and you don't want to overcommit yourselves. This means you will need to know, like I said before, your priorities and your goals, and you will also need to make sure you are getting enough rest or taking time for recharging. Now, as homeschool moms, we get so busy that we don't take time for ourselves, even to get enough rest. And a lot of times we don't have our own interests anymore. And this is a huge drain to our energy, and it will throw us into survival mode very quickly. So know your limits. It is okay to say no. It doesn't mean you have to quit doing everything forever. It just means there's seasons to life. And you need to know your limits and what you can handle in those different times. So I've given you what you need to know to get started with homeschooling. But now the question is, how do we plan and put all these things into place? How do we make sure we also enjoy this season of the busyness of homeschooling so we can thrive and not just survive? Well, before I answer that question, I want you to think of a fruit tree. So in order for a tree to bear fruit, it has to be a healthy tree, which is getting enough water, sunlight, and nutrients from the soil to be able to grow fruit. But what else does a tree have that we might not see and think about? Well, a healthy tree has a healthy root system. In fact, trees have root systems underground that are 3 to 7 times the size of the visible tree. And even with those huge root systems, sometimes the root system is not deep enough or not healthy, and the tree gets blown over in a severe storm. So how do we plan and put all these things into place? And how do we make sure we also enjoy this season of busyness, of homeschooling, so we can thrive and not just survive? Well, we need to establish a root system in our approach to home life that will take us from surviving to thriving. And we need a root system that is deep and healthy enough that when the storms of life come, we don't simply topple over, but we can withstand the winds and the storms, and again, even thrive. So there are 3 key areas of your home life where you need to establish a root system: your mindset, your personal and home routines, and your time. So let's talk a little bit about growing a root system. So as you can see, I have them here. Mindset management. Mindset management, taking control of your home life, starts with approaching life with a bigger perspective than yourself and a dependence on God, as well as setting priorities. And then you are free to spend time on what is really important and let go of some activities. Then there's home management. Creating personal and home routines frees your brain from thinking about everything you have to do, helps you feel less stress about getting everything done, and enables you to have the systems in place in your home so things run smoothly. And time management. Establishing a plan of time management involves goal setting to give you direction, making a plan to avoid wasting time and to work towards goals, and finding time to recharge so you enjoy life. Now, when you grow a root system in these 3 areas, it is possible to thrive. Even when difficult times come or changes like extended illness or big move, you will know your priorities, or you can go back and reevaluate for the current circumstances. You will be in the habit of spending time with God for your strength. You will have routines for the basic part of life, like a morning and evening routine, and routines for cleaning and meals. And you will know how to manage your time through planning so you can easily get back on track when life throws you curveballs. Now, while we've talked in theory about how to thrive and enjoy life while homeschooling, I thought it might be helpful to quickly look at a few case studies of people who have followed this process in their own lives. I don't know about you, but I love seeing these examples of this stuff at work. I told you a little bit about my story, but let me talk about a few other people who I've worked with in my Thriving at Home school course. So I'd like to introduce you to Amy. So a few years ago, Amy was going to be a first-time homeschool mom, like you, if you're on this call, right? She was looking to gain confidence in preparing for homeschooling, and she was trying to figure out how to balance homeschooling her 2 children while babysitting 4 extra babies and toddlers. She had her hands full. Amy knew that she already had a lot on her plate, so it would be especially important to create systems and personal routines. So Amy went through these steps that I talked about of mindset management, home management, and time management. She focused her perspective on Christ, set her priorities, and so took control of her thoughts and her mindset. Then she worked on home management with personal and home routines so she could save her energy for giving her attention to the 6 children in her care. She also was able to implement time management as she set big goals and planned how to work on them in a monthly and weekly focus. When Amy finished her first year of homeschooling, she said that not everything went perfectly, but she was able to enjoy the year and the moments with her children rather than running around feeling crazy, using this process of mindset management, home management, and time management. And then there was Denise. Now, while you may be just starting out, you may want to see the reality of someone who, like me, hadn't known what or how to get started homeschooling on the right foot, or didn't have adequate systems in place for the curveballs of life. So when Denise used the Thriving at Home course, she had been homeschooling for 8 years, and she was just so tired. She told me that things were okay the first few years of homeschooling her oldest son, but then she had another baby, a delightful and spirited girl. Now, her baby was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 18 months, and with this little girl's outgoing, change the world personality, introverted Denise wasn't getting enough sleep, and her stress levels skyrocketed. When it came time to homeschool her daughter, Denise became overwhelmed with all of her daughter's needs. She had ADHD, dyslexia, and executive dysfunction or disorder. Now, fortunately, she was able to get help with her daughter's schooling from an occupational therapist and reading specialist. But 8 years of stress and much sleep deprivation had left her cognitive abilities impaired and her energy level lacking. She knew it was time to make some changes in her personal life. So she enrolled in Thriving at Home School. For her, the biggest encouragement was in renewing her perspective and her relationship with the Lord. And that is the section on mindset management. She also immediately began to see how to make small changes and a better plan for her home and homeschooling routines when she focused on home management. Her time management also improved as she began to use the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner. So, after completing her year, after finishing the course as well, Denise said that she is making time with God a priority, and she has used the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner to stay on track with homeschooling and all the extra appointments with her daughter. So she was able to thrive at home the year after she used this. All right, so how can you implement this in your own life quickly and easily? Which, just like Amy or Denise? Well, option one is you can figure it out on your own. You can do your own research and you can figure out your own path, and that is totally doable. But it does take more time and there is more struggle and possibly overwhelm. So you will get there, but you might also want more help. And so the other option would be to follow the process that we talked about today. Grow a root system in your mindset management, home management, and time management, and let me be your guide. I would love to be your guide in this so you can be a thriving homeschool mom. So I would love to invite you to join me at Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course. Now, that's a mouthful, right? It sounds like a little overwhelming, perhaps. But let me tell you a little bit more about it. So, Thriving at Home, Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course is the course designed to help you learn to manage your home and homeschool in just 8 lessons so that you can enjoy the journey of homeschooling and even thrive in your home and homeschool. So, just like the process that I showed you of proven success earlier, the Thriving at Homeschool starts with mindset management in the first 2 lessons. So let me just show you a little bit of the lessons in here. So lesson 1 is focusing your mindset or your eternal perspective. So in order to thrive at home, we need to start with our mindset or our way of thinking. And for a Christian homeschooling mom, that mindset needs to be an eternal perspective. This is the foundation of taking care of ourselves. For apart from Christ and his eternal mindset or perspective, we can do nothing. So we're setting the foundation in lesson 1 with our mindset and eternal perspective. And in lesson 2, we start talking about priorities. As homeschool moms, we need to decide what is really important and thus where to focus our energy and time. For if everything is important, then nothing is important. So the most important things in our lives should be our priorities. And as you can see with each of these slides, I'm showing you some of the pages that I give you in the course. There's videos and there's worksheets that help you to walk through all of these steps. So this is where you figure out your priorities, lesson 2. So these are the things under mindset management. And then next we're going to talk about home management, and that would be 2 lessons on that. So lesson 3 is creating personal routines. Routines help us save brain power and function well. As homeschool moms, having morning and evening routines and daily routines and checklists will help us form habits so we can save our energy for other things. So creating personal routines, but we also need to create home routines. Part of our root system of a thriving life is an organizational system made up of various routines. In our homes, these routines include meal planning and cleaning routines. So again, there's videos and there are worksheets to help you figure out those home routines and make things run more smoothly in your home. And then the next area we talk about in the course is time management. Now I have 4 lessons on this. The first one is goal setting. Goals give us a sense of direction so we live with purpose and intention. They also help with mindset. They provide accountability and they help us live life to the fullest. Based on our priorities, we will set yearly, monthly, and weekly goals. Lesson 6 is about planning. Once we know the goals we are aiming for, we need to break them down into smaller, actionable steps. We can do this with weekly and daily plans using a schedule or planner. Time blocking is an effective way to get our focus items on the calendar and actually work on them. Now, you don't have to use time blocking, but it is one of the things that I suggest. But just having a plan, having things actually written on a calendar, knowing what we're going to work on each week and day. Well, you start with monthly. So planning is our lesson 6. And then we move to homeschool planning. And maybe that's the thing that you're really wanting to do. But trust me, you want to do all these other steps so that your homeschool planning goes more smoothly. So just like the goal setting and planning for our personal lives, when we plan for our homeschool, we need to look at the big picture of our vision and the reasons for homeschooling, the methods and state requirements, and then choose curriculum and break the lessons into plans over months, weeks, and days. So you know those 7 things that I said you need to know to get started homeschooling? I actually walk you through those in my planner and my course. So lesson 8 is taking time for refreshment. As homeschool moms, we need to be sure to build in time for refreshment or self-care. If we do not take care of ourselves, we will have nothing left to give to our families. All right, so what do you get if you purchase Thriving at Home School? Well, there are 8 life-changing lessons with beautifully designed practical worksheets. Now, I'm not bragging about my designing skills because my friend designed them. She's a designer. So when I say that, I just think they're beautiful worksheets and you'll enjoy using the planner. And so the worksheets actually all come together as part of what is called the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner. So you could use it as a planner without the homeschool part for sure as well. So when you purchase Thriving at Home School, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course, you have instant access to all the tools you need to cultivate a root system so that you can bear fruit of thriving at home. You will follow a clear path through the phases of growing a root system through mindset management, home management, and time management in 8 life-changing lessons with beautifully designed practical worksheets to help you apply your lessons right away. You will also get the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner, and this will help you plan both your homeschool and your home life, and it's worth $49. Now, let's talk a little bit more. And so this is just a sample of what you get. You can see the planner and a lot of the different worksheets, which you've seen on some of the other slides, and there are videos for each lesson. But let's talk a little bit more about the planner so you can see what's in there. The Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner is the best homeschool and life planner that will help you not only manage both your home and your homeschool, but it will help you get the most important things done. It is a full home and homeschool organization system. So why is the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner so effective? It uses our proven focus system because you need so much more than just a homeschool planner. You need a comprehensive planner and a home management system for the homeschool family. So there are lots of planners for homeschoolers out there, but homeschoolers need a system for time and home management. And with the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner, you will find it very easy with our focus system. So the first thing in our focus system is focus your thoughts. Our system starts with focusing your thoughts by taking a priorities assessment, listing big dreams, and making life and yearly goals for yourself. Secondly, organize your homeschool. Even as you are focusing your thoughts for yourself, you are also focusing thoughts and plans for your children's homeschool with assessments, goals, and creating a plan for the year, which you can then reduce into monthly, weekly, and daily plans. C is for conquer your goals. With your thoughts focused, you can take your life and yearly goals and break them down into monthly, weekly, and daily focus areas so you can conquer your goals. And U is for utilize your time well. You will keep focused as you schedule your hour-by-hour tasks and appointments or time block each of your days on the weekly plan schedule. And S is for streamline your home routines. With meal planning worksheets and cleaning planning worksheets, you can continue your focus and organization with easy to implement routines for your home. So let's just look at a few of the features inside of the planner. So my planner, the Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner, has undated calendars. And that means that you can start planning at any point in the year. And it makes it convenient to print the planner year after year. So if you buy this planner, you just print it every year. And if you have a busy month and you don't use a month, you just go on and you print the next month because they are undated. And you don't feel like, oh, I didn't use half of the planner because I skipped some months. Well, they're undated, so it makes it easy. Also, there are worksheets for looking at the bigger picture of what you want to accomplish to determine a course of action for your year with the priorities, dreams, and goals worksheets. And there are yearly goals worksheets. So you can establish a big picture plan with a whole year overview. You also, this is, the year at a glance, the yearly goals, let's go back to that one. I should say that better. The yearly goals help you to determine your main motivating goals for this year and keep them continually fresh and visible. And the year at a glance is where you can establish your big picture plan with a whole year overview. Like what day you're going to start school, what day you're going to end school, when are you going to take your breaks, and now you can see it all in one place. And then homeschooling goals. Oh yes, you will be able to understand your child better and look at the bigger picture of doing a current assessment and evaluating your child's level of independence and determining life and yearly goals. And there's homeschool planning pages. This is where you fill in the worksheets to guide your planning for the homeschool year. And this is where you would work on vision, methods, state requirements, curriculum needs and requirements, monthly, weekly, and daily plans. We also have monthly goals worksheets. Break down your yearly goals into manageable parts to work on for progress on your goals each month. And there's the monthly homeschool plan. Determine the plan for what to cover in each subject for the month, including which chapters or pages to read, which lessons to learn, which experiments or writing assignments you are going to do that month. And there are monthly plans. This is where you fill in your main events on the monthly calendar to keep track of your whole month at a glance. And there are meal planning worksheets. So you will make master lists of recipes for each meal, create a plan of meals for the month, and fill in your meals for the week to expedite meal preparation. And believe me, it saves so much time. Each morning I look at my list of weekly plan, and I know exactly what I'm going to be making for dinner. So I know if I have to pull something out to thaw it, I know what things I need to buy at the store. It's not a guessing game. And weekly cleaning plan. So create your weekly master task list for daily cleaning sessions and designate which tasks you plan to do in your daily cleaning sessions. And you don't have to do daily, you can have a weekly time of chores, which is actually what we do. Also, a weekly brain dump. Begin your weekly planning on this convenient worksheet by listing all of the activities you want and need to get done this week so you can prioritize them. And once they are prioritized, then you are going to choose your big focus goal for the week. And you might want to choose focus goals for some other growth areas as well. And you prioritize your tasks before scheduling them on your weekly plans calendar. You also want to have a weekly homeschool plan. So this is kind of like the monthly homeschool plan, but now you're just breaking it down by week. So you're determining the plan for what to cover in each subject for the week, including which chapters and pages to read, what writing assignments, what science experiments, so what lessons. And then you have your weekly plans, and this is where you schedule your hour-by-hour tasks and appointments for a daily overview of managing your time or time blocking, and you have a vertical layout, and it includes 5 weeks per month. All right, so what's the investment? Of course, at this point, you're probably wondering, with everything that's included in this incredible system, what is it going to cost me? Because if you've shopped around, you know that a really good planner alone costs $39 to $49. And one of my mentors sells a similar home management course, though not for homeschool moms, for $247. But the reason for these higher prices is actually a pretty good one. It automatically weeds out anyone who's not serious about getting results, because we value what we pay for, right? If we pay for something, we're going to get it done. If it's free, we might get to it. But I also know that this is something so many of us need right now, which is why I want to keep this affordable for homeschool moms, but also at a price point where you are going to value the course and actually put in the time. So today, you can join Thriving at Homeschool, the Christian Homeschool Moms Home Management and Productivity course for just $57. Now, I usually have the price set at $97, but for the next few days, I'm having a flash sale. And I think, a lot of us are really getting serious now about getting ready for the homeschool year. I don't start schooling till almost September. Sometimes I start a little bit later in August. But usually I'm like, okay, I guess it's Labor Day, we should get started. So I still have some time to get ready. You still have some time to get ready. And so this is a really good time to get yourself organized. And you can get it for $57. That's the whole course with the videos. So that includes what it's valued at is $247, and the homeschool planner is valued at $49. So it's a total value of $296. But you can get it for just $57. Now, you have a lot to lose by not implementing this process in your life over the next few weeks, because what will your next school year look like? Will it be one you enjoy and thrive in by implementing the mindset management, home management, and time management in your life? Or will it be a crazy, exhausting year that you are just trying to survive? You don't want to start out on that foot. You really don't. So also though, if you just want the planner, you can get it for $17. I totally recommend though, go for the $57. So you go through the video courses and where I walk you through how to use every page. Well, if you're ready to take the leap, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to https://justclassical.com/thriving at homeschool. So when you go to that, you're going to see the sales page. It explains everything I just went over with you about Thriving at Homeschool. the full course, and it shows you all the planner pages. So if you want to look at the sales page again, this is where you go. And you can also just click on one of the buttons that says to buy the course. Learn to Thrive Now, I think, is what I have on some of them. And they take you down to the section that shows your two options. So for this flash sale through tomorrow night, August 5th at 11:59 p.m., you can get the full course for $57, or you can get the planner for $17. So these are your options. And if you click on one of those, then it'll take you to a sales page that looks like this. So I'm just showing you one of them, but you can see that the usual price is $97. I'm giving you that $40 discount. And then I'm not offering a subscription discount at this time. So it's a one-time payment for $57. And then you will get all the worksheets, all the videos, and you can download it and use it immediately. You get instant access. So really, I want you to join the course to get the best start. And if you just want the planner though, you can also get that. So fill out the form, choose your method of payment, enter your credit card information, and check out. And after your payment has gone through, you'll receive an email confirmation, and voila, you'll have access to the videos, the worksheets, and the amazing Thriving at Home Homeschool Planner. So in just a few lessons, you'll be ready to enjoy your next year with the confidence that even when things don't go perfectly, you have routines and a plan in place to get back on track to productivity and thriving quickly. So once again, if you're ready to get started, just go back to that justcostco.com/thriving-at-home-school and hit the buy button. But for now, if you have any questions, I am happy to take questions and chat with you. So I will stop sharing. Okay, well, that is everything I have to share. So check out the Thriving at Home School full course or the planner. And thank you for joining me today. I hope this information was helpful for you in getting started with homeschooling. And I look forward to connecting with you again in the future. Bye.